Any presidents' names in there?
Well, actually, Epstein has, I believe, 24 contact numbers for Clinton. William Barr, the Attorney General under Donald Trump, who covered up Epstein, Epstein was allowed to do whatever he wanted with Les Wexner's fortune, anything he wanted. But he circled a bunch of names that he saw had been involved with Epstein. William Barr, the Attorney General under Donald Trump, who covered up Epstein, and actually he covered up Franklin too, because he was the Attorney General under Bush 1 when the Franklin scandal was covered up. So he's a really dirty guy. I mean, and he's been involved in all kinds of other dirty stuff too. His dad was running Dalton shortly before Epstein got hired there. So people have speculated that his dad had something to do with Epstein getting hired, but we don't really know. But what's really interesting is William Barr's father wrote a sci-fi novel about intergalactic sex trafficking, which is, kind of strange. And then Jeffrey Epstein ends up working at Dalton, and then he has this. He gets involved in with a number of trading companies, and then ultimately.
I mean, how does he get involved, though?
Well, that's the thing.
He's a college dropout. He gets put in there by Barr's. I'm sorry, did you say Barr's father?
People are surmising that it's Barr's father who got him a job at Dalton. And then he was in some trading companies. He was with Stephen Hoffenberg, who got busted. At that time, Hoffenberg was guilty of the largest Ponzi scheme ever. It was before Bernie Madoff. Now, with Hoffenberg, I met with Hoffenberg. He's dead now. But he said that Epstein was involved. But Epstein was allowed to skate. But the thing with Hoffenberg is he was a very, very wealthy guy who did 18 years in prison. And I don't think he came out of prison as the paragon of sanity. So I never really knew what to make about what Hoffenberg was telling me. Okay. It could have been all true, or I don't know, but I think that Stephen Hoffenberg was psychologically troubled, and after he got out of prison. But where Epstein got his big break was in the early 90s. Les Wexner, who is the head of the Limited, Victoria's Secret, multi-billionaire, he gave Epstein the keys to his kingdom, power of attorney over everything. And Epstein was allowed to do whatever he wanted with Les Wexner's fortune, anything he wanted. He was given power of attorney.
I mean, but he didn't. I mean, he barely even knew him, correct? They'd known each other for I don't know. 5 or 6 years. But I think Les Wexner is a pretty dirty guy. I mean, he's also been named as a perpetrator, and I do believe that he is a perpetrator. And he and Jeffrey Epstein, Les Wexner has a very interesting history. He's got a history with the Mafia. There was an attorney whose law firm worked for Les Wexner's Limited. His name was Arthur Shapiro, and he was shot in the back of the head twice, execution style, in Columbus, Ohio, which is where Wexner lives and where the Limited is headquartered. So it was very much a Mafia hit, and there was a police report, a homicide report. I've got it, that came out, and it named Les Wexner as the chief suspect of that homicide, and it talked about all of Les Wexner's Mafia connections, which I was able to corroborate. The police chief of Columbus ordered that homicide report to be destroyed, but I got a copy of it. so I'm good at getting stuff. So, but yeah, Les Wexner is the prime suspect as far as being the prime mover of that homicide, according to that homicide report.
Why do you think? I mean, what was his fortune? How much was it?
He's estimated to be worth at least $4 billion.
Why would he? I mean, is it blackmail? Why would he hand over the keys and give full power of attorney to Jeff Epstein, other than blackmail? Do you think it was blackmail?
It's either blackmail or they're both into something very sordid together. And here's what people don't understand about Epstein, and they didn't understand this about Franklin. Jeffrey Epstein was blackmailing some of the most powerful men in the world. I mean, all you got to do is look at his black book and see that he was blackmailing some of the most powerful men in the world. Now, Jeffrey Epstein was a college dropout from working class Coney Island. Is Jeffrey Epstein going to be able to blackmail Les Wexner, who has connections to the mafia? There's no way in hell. I mean, Jeffrey Epstein would have a very brief life expectancy if he did that. But the thing about it is, if he's got an intelligence apparatus behind him, and they make it known to whoever he's blackmailing, no one touches Jeffrey Epstein, or else pictures are going to come out, or whatever. I mean, that's the only way that Jeffrey Epstein is able to blackmail.
So you think that Jeffrey Epstein had an intelligence organization behind him?
Oh, absolutely.
Or more than
no
one.
doubt about it.
U.S. intelligence organization or another country's?
Well, yeah, okay, so people speculate that it was Israeli and not American. But here's the thing about that, and I try to explain it to people. There's no way that American intelligence is going to let Israeli intelligence compromise American politicians without getting a cut of that intelligence. There's just no way.
Well, maybe. I mean, why wouldn't they? Maybe if Jeffrey Epstein has blackmail on literally all these powerful people, I mean, and it seems that they all fold immediately. You know, maybe he had something on the U.S. side of things, and they were like, "Hey."
Well, here's what happened. Okay, so when that state grand jury didn't indict Epstein on any counts of child abuse, Michael Ryder of the Palm Beach Police Department was just livid, and he went to the feds, and he said, "You guys have got to do something about this." And at a certain point, the feds accumulated a list of 36 victims. I've got the list. The feds had a list of 36 victims. Alexander Acosta was the U.S. attorney for the Southern District of Florida, Miami. And he was told that not to go after Epstein, that Epstein was intelligence, and it was above his pay grade. Now, he said that when he became Secretary of Labor under Trump, and when the Trump team was vetting him, they asked him, "Why didn't you go after Epstein?" And he said, "Well, I was told that Epstein was intelligence and it was above my pay grade not to go after him." And it has come out that he said that, and he's never denied saying that. So he was told, Epstein is intelligence and you need to back away from him. And that's exactly, and so when we're talking about power, this is a U.S. attorney. There's two people constitutionally that can tell a U.S. attorney to back down in the United States of America, the president and the attorney general. So that's the kind of power that Epstein was tapped into, that a U.S. attorney could be told to stand down.
Wow. So what was his name? Lesnar?
Les Wexner.
Les Wexner. Was he the gateway to all the other powerful people that Epstein had intertwined into this web of elites?
I think that he was one of the gateways. I think that Epstein probably had multiple gateways, like Leon Black, head of the Apollo Group. Epstein got $156 million from him. And how did that happen? Well, Leon Black
just happens to be in Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book. Glenn Dubin, another billionaire. He's actually circled. So what happened was the house manager ripped off Epstein's Black Book. This is how I ended up getting it. The house manager ripped it off, and he tried to sell it to one of the attorneys that was launching civil suits at Epstein. And then the attorney called the FBI, and the FBI did a sting. But he circled a bunch of names that he saw had been involved with Epstein.
Epstein circled him, or the house manager?
The house manager did.
Okay.
So Les Wexner's name is definitely circled. Bill Richardson's name is circled. Bruce King's name is circled. Glenn Dubin's name is circled. George Mitchell, the former majority leader of the Senate, his name is circled. Marvin Minsky, a famous scientist at MIT, his name is circled. And actually, and a number of these people come up in depositions, a victim's deposition, when she names names.
So these names are popping up all over the place, and it's all syncing up.
Yeah, I mean, it's, and one of the circled names is Ehud Barak, the former prime minister of Israel. So.
Any president's names in there?
Well, actually, Epstein has, I believe, 24 contact numbers for Clinton. And it's very obvious that Epstein was providing girls to Clinton. I mean, when Clinton was president, Epstein was going into the White House with girls, with women. I don't think that they were minors, but Epstein was definitely delivering women to Clinton when Clinton was in the White House.
What's with the painting? Do you know the painting I'm talking about?
With Clinton in the blue dress. It's...
What is that?
It's Jeffrey Epstein's perverted sense of humor towards Bill Clinton, I guess. I'm sure that Clinton probably never saw it.
What other kind of paintings were there? No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.